Welcome back to 307 Reacts. Yeah! We got a damn good show today.
It's gonna be a hell of a show.
Oh, yeah.
Folks. Today we are looking at, do you want to say it?
We got propaganda.
Mm-hmm. We're looking at some
We're putting
propaganda.
out some propaganda.
We're going to look at some. We're going to take a look at some. We're going to listen to some.
With Dax,
We're gonna
featuring Tom Macdonald.
Sit down with our boys, Dax and Tom, and
We're going to review some propaganda.
Discuss a little bit of propaganda today. So that's what's going on. This has been requested in our comment section like 100 different times.
Yeah.
But for anybody that hasn't really been keeping up, maybe this is your first video you've ever seen us do. We're kind of on a new rotation schedule where we're trying to press out when our episodes are coming out with our behind-the-scenes editor. See, like, we do all the stuff in front of the camera, but the guy behind the camera is Ronnie. Put a hashtag thanks Ronnie down in the comments.
And for those of you who follow us for just our Tom or Dax reactions, this will be the first video that you see with him. But if you look at some of our previous videos over the last 2-3 weeks, you notice the editing style is different, and it's a lot of fun and it's cool. He puts in little clips of stuff here and there.
He's way better at it than I ever
He's really
was,
creative.
so.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah. And he's got the gear to. One of these days we'll go over there and maybe he'll let us like snap a pic of his setup or something like that. It's crazy. You guys have to see
ignorant,
it.
dude. Just
like I've got some cool shit, but he's got some cool shit, dude.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we should probably just get right into it.
Let's jump into it, man.
Let's do it. Propaganda. Dax featuring Tom Macdonald. Official music video. Let's go.
Our own truth isn't always the reality. That's facts.
We were
I'll
talking
accept
about that with a certain piano earlier.
Hey, Derek. You good, bro? Ain't picking up calls, dog. What's wrong, man? Daryl, you good?
It's all raining outside. He's checking on his friend. It's a good guy.
Hey, Derek. Don't lose yourself.
Ooh, that's cool.
What?
And all I see is propaganda, propaganda. And all I see is propaganda, propaganda. And all I see is propaganda.
Have we heard Dax singing yet?
I don't think
I don't
so,
think we
man.
have.
That's pretty good.
Okay. All right. So it turns out not only can he rap insanely well, he's also got a voice. He's got a little bit of a voice behind him.
I want to say, dude, that scene with the TV though, like
That's powerful. Super
wow,
powerful,
man.
dude. Did you see the guy on the TV too? Like he had simulated really big ears and stuff. I don't know what that was about, but it was kind of weird and like dystopian looking.
It's so wild though. It's almost like to represent that he's fake.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's putting out fake shit. But like the thing is like it's almost like feeding off of his soul. And it's weird because a lot of people will buy into this new, like I know people who and it used to be commonplace, right? Our parents, they'd wake up in the morning, they'd get their breakfast going, their cup of coffee, and they turn on the news. Right?
Or go out and get the newspaper and open it up and it's got all the stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of those things that like in my parents' generation and even the generation before with our grandparents, it was a very common place to do that. However, nowadays the news has changed, and I think it's really happened over the last 50 years with like the end of, I would even say with the Cold War, and towards the end of the Cold War, it started to kind of shift towards, well, we're gonna say this because it's more politically correct, or we're gonna do this because, you know, we'll get views for it, or we're gonna show this story in a different light because it looks better, and like that's
getting more dramatic and figuring out what people thrive off of and things like that. Yeah, okay, I got you.
And it's something that if you buy into that, that's all you think about. It's all you're consumed with. You're taking in all this junk, and you then invest yourself back into that junk, which is just wild. I mean, Facebook is a battleground for arguing over just stupid shit all the time.
It's insane, man. If you want to, and you don't have to, that's the nice thing about it is you can choose not to. But if you want to, you can get a fight with anybody on Facebook about anything. Doesn't matter.
Now, here's the thing. I don't have anything against phones and watching TV and whatever. But the thing is you have to, number one, watch it with an open mind, and number two, watch it with a guarded mind, which sounds
contradictory.
Yeah. But take everything you hear and see with a grain of salt because you weren't there. Like the only thing that's reliable is a first-hand account.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like whether that's by yourself, like you saw it with your own eyes, or somebody who was there to tell the story now even then gets dangerous because they can put their own personal bias into it. But
depends on how much attention that person really wants most of the time.
So I mean, everything I hear on the news, I'm like, okay, well, something's going on. Like this whole chick passing away in the Tetons.
Oh man, Gabby
it as a murder.
Petito. Yeah, dude, crazy. Crazy thing going on.
I don't know anything about it other than she was missing, and then they think her boyfriend or her fiance or whoever's the suspect. So
I've got all the conspiracy theories on that one, or not even conspiracy at this point, because I mean they found her body.
Knows?
They found her body, and the coroner said it's probably homicide, and I'm like, okay, so my theories are starting to come true. Then I'll tell you about it afterwards, but it's easy.
But the wild thing is there's news stations out there spinning it as a racial thing, and I'm like, huh?
Well,
what?
And there's news stations out there too that are spinning it as a lesson to your daughter or lesson to your son thing, and it's like, do we really have to get into like?
It's like, can we discuss how this lady was murdered and there's still a guy on the loose?
Can we just like the guy hasn't been found yet and he's just out there killing women?
By
the way, he killed those other two chicks too. They didn't find that out yet, but he did it. It's fine.
The news's job is to report the facts. Okay, their job isn't to say this guy's doing a good job, this guy's doing a bad job. Like when it comes to the presidents, right? They go, oh well, we think Biden's really doing a good job, because his numbers here and there, and they're saying this, and then this other source is saying this. It's like, how about we just say, hey, this is how the economy's looking, this is how this is looking, this is how this is looking. Make your choice.
Yeah,
that's how it is, and
Not
I'll even
man.
say
everything's got to be personal and emotional nowadays, man. It's got to be
it's wild.
It's got to affect you personally in like a weird way, or else it doesn't count or something. I don't know, man. It's weird. Whatever.
Well, anyway, let's get back to it. See what they got to say.
And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda.
What up, Tom?
Propaganda. Yeah. United we stand, divided we fall. New Year's Eve, they've been dropping the ball. Independent, how we dead in the game. We don't write to the sound of applause. Hidden truth, dotted lines, ain't never signed, stood and remained.
Hold on, I want to hear that bar again.
Go back.
Sorry,
let
me go back 10.
Headphones up a little bit, actually. Okay, go ahead.
By the way, are our monitors on?
No, they're off.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think there's just reflections going on in this room because that room is like empty now.
Well, no, it wasn't something I was hearing. It was just a stupid thought.
Oh, you're good.
Anyway.
Yeah. United we stand, divided we fall. New Year's Eve, they've been dropping the ball. Independent, how we dead in the game. We don't write to the sound of applause.
So independent, we've been in the game. We don't write to the sound of applause.
Yeah.
He's like, me and Tom write songs because it's what we feel. We don't give a shit what anybody else thinks.
We're not writing to applause. Yeah.
And I love that double entendre, right? With the New Year's Eve, they've been dropping the ball. Like, they've been dropping the ball like they're really fucking up. Mm-hmm. But, like, the other thing, too, is New Year's Eve with the whole ball drop thing is another giant scam, or not really a scam, but like just another sales thing.
Yeah,
it's all about selling something. Mm-hmm. Like, so
it's always sponsored by somebody. It's always in a big area where there's multiple celebrities, and there's always multiple events surrounding it, and parades, and all this weird.
And somebody important's got to say some bullshit about something. Like,
you want to call it symbolism, but it's like not.
Yeah,
it's like
it's all commercialized.
It's a sales ad, man. It's just a big sales ad. So yeah. Yep. Anyways, let's go.
Truth, dotted lines, ain't never signed, stood and remain the boss in a world that is full of facades where if you speak you get nailed to a cross. I won't be silent, I am outspoken, I am the product of pain. So when you see my name, no fame could never break down a brain that is already broken. Every wound is a pain to
right. You can trust.
I purge emotions, scabs hair as I drop hits that bleed lied from demonic omens. The system decides we spend, we buy, while most of our time is spent in bed. The dreams we have all stay inside, we sleep and wake and live with regret. The price of life is half the cost, the price of fame could cost your head. If infamy is what you seek and propaganda is what you spread.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
That last bar. Wow, dude. So he says the price of life is like basically cut in half. Like, and that's so true. Like, how many times have you met somebody who would jump in front of a train to save a dog, but then see a person in the same situation and go, "Wow, dude, what a dumb motherfucker!"
Like, that was stupid.
Yeah, like that's fucking wild to me, dude. But then the second thing he says is sometimes the cost of fame is like losing your head or something like that. So like there are people who have died trying to be famous, and people who have gotten famous and died because they were famous. Like, it's just some wild shit going on.
Dude,
in the
I've been going
world.
down some crazy YouTube rabbit holes too lately at work because
Yeah.
I've just been listening to stuff throughout the day, and I just learned about what the hell was his name? The YouTuber kid that went fucking psycho over a certain amount of time and like made all these videos and then went to like the grocery store where he worked and like shot everybody up.
Yeah.
Like had this whole plan about it this whole time
Yeah.
and like was showing shotguns and shit. And everyone on the internet was just like not paying attention to him.
Yeah.
You know, they were just kind of playing it off as, you know, this kid's doing his thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
Wow, what a weirdo. And I'm sure he got tons of views and stuff.
And,
like,
and,
yeah.
and he even got on there a few times and was like, okay, great. So when I do this and I do kill myself or whatever, and then you guys were like, no, why would you do that? I've been subscribed to you for years. Okay, why didn't you say something? You know, and like you can see him slowly going into madness. But I'm like watching that kind of stuff. Like it's weird.
It's
man.
wild, man.
And really, he did it because like he was on such a violent path to get famous and noticed
Yeah.
and be remembered for something that.
Yeah.
He drove himself fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What it sounds like to me, anyways. I don't exactly know the whole thing, but
and we've said this a couple times, especially like over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks in some of our videos. You know, we don't do this whole channel because we're looking to. I mean, it'd be cool if we made a living at it, but like a lot of it is just, there's music out there by artists who aren't being like brought to the forefront because they don't want to conform to what you know is going on with the whole propaganda. So a lot of it is just about opening our horizons and listening to music that we haven't listened to before and finding something that, wow, you know, I'm not really a big country fan, but God, dude, that song was good. Like it had this and this about it that I love. Or like with me, I'm not big into rap. Like and that's big for me to say because I suggest a lot of rap now.
80% of our channel's rap.
Yeah,
So.
and it's because I found artists like this who are independent and they have something to say, and I found something that I like about it.
Dude, look at Dax, man. Like he's insane. I can't
Yeah.
believe that he's an
Yeah, he's just
independent
wild,
artist.
man.
Like, and he's just out there destroying the game, man.
Yeah.
5 million subscribers the other day. Like,
But I mean, there's people like Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I think, was the best example that I can think of both of these scenarios where the price of human life is cut in half, and to get famous, somebody's got to die, right? Remember when he had that big debacle, what was it, 2014, 13, maybe it was 15, I don't remember. But he went out into the Japanese forest and found somebody that killed themselves, and like he had videoed like, oh my God, dude, look, I found this dude hung up in a tree.
Yep.
And then he put it on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
huh? Like for you to sit there and film it going, dude, this is going to be great content, and then call some authorities, but like that's fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean that's
the culture of today, man.
Yeah.
If something's going on, it's immediately let me get this on my phone really quick so I can share it later and get a bunch of attention.
And that's
for
what the people in the diner were doing.
Exactly what they were doing.
Is they were like, oh, dude, this guy's
getting mad.
This guy's getting mad. Yeah, like it's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wild.
People live through their screens, man. So here we go. Let's keep going. Let's go back 5.
Let's go back 5. Yeah.
Cross your head if infamy is what you seek and propaganda is what you spread. Propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. Liquidated, indoctrinated. They convince us all that everything we say is racist, and blood will change it. That's what happened.
Yeah.
He even carried over that leather jacket.
He did.
Dax was like, hey, man, I got some shit to say. And Tom was like, hold up.
Hold up.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I can help out with that.
Let's back it up 10. I want to listen to his first bar again. That's
sure.
good.
Liquidated, indoctrinated. They convince us all that everything we say is racist, and blood will change it. That's what happened.
That's
They convince us that everything we say is racist and blood will change
blood
it.
will change it.
Yeah.
And that was the big. Who was it? Was it Pelosi that said something to the Black Lives Matter rallies and protests? We have to meet this with violence. Like she's out there advocating for violence, and people are dying in these riots. People are losing their businesses, their whole livelihood. Like,
bro, this is the whole thing with the government, man,
it's
and like
crazy.
how out of control they're
Yeah.
just like letting shit. Like no one's taking accountability for fucking
Yeah.
anything anymore, man.
No.
It's just like, I might have said that, but like I didn't say that.
And then they go and villainize the people. So like there was people like, you know, because the cops didn't show up because they were told to not show up, right? So this whole protest is going down, and people are stealing shit out of shoe stores and TV stores and shit. And I don't know if you guys saw this in mainstream media. I saw one article on it. But there was people who were trying to protect these businesses, and when they found somebody breaking into a business, they would duct tape them to a light pole until the cops arrived. Yeah.
Bro.
And those are the bad guys.
Bro, yeah, that's the bad guy.
Okay.
That's the bad guy. Yeah, okay. That guy was trying to steal my shit, so I taped him to a light pole and called the cops on him. And then look, when you get here, there he is. There's the robber.
He's right
that's
there.
The guy that was trying to steal my shit. Now you can just question him when he's up against the light pole there.
And I mean, to be real with you, the smart thing to do is to just not be there. Okay? That's the smart thing, because anytime you're there, like that kid who got who ended up shooting 3 people or whatever.
Oh, that Kyle, whatever the hell his name was.
Kyle. And they were like, oh, well, you know, it wasn't necessarily self-defense. We're going to hit him with second-degree murder or whatever. And it's like, you know, the kid didn't make all the correct decisions for self-defense, but there was definitely 2 to 3 shots that I saw come from that rifle that were clearly self-defense. He was outnumbered, number one, and he was on the ground, and some dude was beating him with a skateboard. Like, yeah, he could potentially die there. There's a great risk of bodily harm for sure.
Bro,
that constitutes self-defense.
Skateboard trucks are made out of metal.
But had he not been there,
who knows? Yeah.
Like, you know, he wouldn't have been one of the
suspects, victims, whatever it is.
And had the other guys not been there as well, they wouldn't have got shot.
Moral of the story is,
like, stay home and be a good human. Like, you know,
it's okay to stay home and watch the protesters from your living room. It's cool.
Oh my God,
it's fine.
dude.
I do it.
Yeah.
I watch them from my living room, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not there. So
yeah. So,
take another drink of beer.
Ignorant.
And move on with my night. So back 5. Here we go.
They convince us all that everything we say is racist, and blood will change it. That's what happens. Y'all need balance. Y'all need blacks and whites and lefts and rights to stop the madness. They planned it. It's Trump or Biden, we all been divided by it in the streets. Elections always been rigged. I ain't surprised when somebody cheats. All I see is pentagrams of the propaganda, but our priority's the vaccine. It ain't hard for wolves to find a flock when the sheep are fast asleep. Too many people.
Dang. Wow. It ain't hard for the wolves to find a flock when the sheep are fast asleep. Dude,
man.
And he said it at the beginning of that little bar right there. He said, you know, elections have been rigged since the beginning of time. Like, I'm not surprised when somebody cheats. Yeah. That's where I'm at. Like, that's the same stance that I have. I'm like, man, left, right, someone's always fucking trying to cheat in politics, man. Like, there's always some corrupt, greedy son of a bitch.
There's always money going somewhere.
Always, dude. And it's and a lot of the times that money going somewhere is fucking greasy, dude. Like, greasy. You know?
Like 5 Guys bottom of the fry bag grease, bro.
Like, straight up bubbles greasy, bro. Like, and so I really relate when Tom comes out and says stuff like that, because for one, it solidifies that he is the same way. He's not left. He's not right. He's just looking at the situation at hand and going, why are we picking sides here? Why are we picking sides?
And it's wild because he says we see pentagrams and something else. I forget what the other thing was.
Pentagrams and propaganda.
Yeah,
but priority is vaccine.
Priority is vaccine. Like.
Huh? Yep. All right, let's go back 10 and hit that bar, actually.
It's always been rigged. I ain't surprised when somebody cheats. All I see is pentagrams of the propaganda, but our priority's the vaccine. It ain't hard for wolves to find a flock when the sheep are fast asleep. Too many people lack character. Too many journalists scaring you. Too many pencils attempting to rewrite the Constitution. They probably gonna tear it up. I love the country, but I don't trust the people taking care of us. We went to bed with the American dream. We woke up in Nightmerica.
Nightmerica. Whoa. That was cool. All right, Tom. Way to go.
Went to bed with the American dream and woke up to Nightmerica.
Yeah, that's legit. That's legit, man. And it's, dude, it pays homage to his writing style and his ability to deliver a message that we're all aware of in such a distinct way that it makes you reevaluate how you feel about it. Like, it's so good, man.
And, you know, there's been some things that I've been on the fence with that I've listened to Tom talk about on a subject, and it really kind of cleared it up for me, and I'm like, okay, this is where I stand with that. And this is the reason why. And you know, it's not just because Tom said so or because whatever, because Tom's really down the middle with this stuff. But it's but it comes to, he's like, hey, these are the facts. Like, they're clear to see. Do your research. And you do the research, you're like, wow, dude, like, I had no idea this was out there. Like, why is this not being in the forefront?
Those numbers that he said in that song, those are real numbers. Like, he pulled that off of Google and like these cited sources where Yep, that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
I've always loved that.
Nightmerica, though.
I've always loved that Tom is. Yeah, he is that way. You know, like he's not left. He's not right. He does have beliefs on both sides, but he's not picking a side. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, why do I have to be a red or a blue or this in between thing?
And he says the black and the white, the left and the right need to come together and figure this out.
No
like,
shit.
This is, and it's not hard. Like, it's really not. Like my buddy,
we would be considered on different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
like me and Chris, technically, in what we believe in and things like that, would be considered right and red and blue.
And I'll tell you this, my buddy Sam, if you're watching, Sam, what's up, buddy?
Shout outs.
He is way farther left than I am.
Okay.
I mean, I would dare say farther left than what you even are.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: every time we've had a conversation on a topic, it's always been, you know what, dude? Like, I don't agree with that, but I understand where you're coming from.
You and I have
and,
that.
And that's it.
You
That's
and
all
I
there
have
is
that
to
talk
it. Like,
all the time. We always,
Yeah.
because one of us will say something and we're like, well, and the reason why is because, if you think about it this way, blah, blah, blah. And then the other person will go, okay, yeah, I got that. Yeah, for sure. I didn't think about it like that, and, maybe it's not situationally correct for my whatever, blah, blah, blah.
For whatever my life experience
these are how the good
yeah.
conversations start, You don't have to just be better than somebody all the time, yo.
And you don't have to ignore them to get along with them either. You just hear their point of view, and if they have no evidence to back it up, then you let them know politely.
Yeah.
You're like, look, dude, like I get it. That's what you think, but I think you need to reevaluate because what you're saying makes no sense. Like,
let me show you these sources
that's
from
it.
non-giant platforms, from reliable people that don't work for Fox and don't work for CNN and don't work for
and see this
CNBC.
This is the wild thing, right? Everybody loves the Washington Post. Okay, here's the thing: Washington Post does not do science. Number one, Washington Post does not conduct, experiments or analytics or statistics. They simply go to somebody else who's doing it and report what they found. Now, there is room for error in believing that because that's a secondhand source. So what I always like to do is, okay, Washington Post says this. Cool. What's your source? Sometimes you can't even find it.
Right.
And if you do, and if you are lucky enough to find it, go look at it. And what you'll look at is they report 80% of what they had. They leave out something or, they make it sound a little bit different with a headline. But check those sources. Go to the first hand, okay? Like,
really quick before we get back into it, it's amazing because of the position that I'm in. I have on my radio, on my presets in my radio in my car, one of them is set to NPR. The other one is set to a local Casper radio station. AM 1030 is our local station here. And the funny thing about it is our local station is pretty conservative, right-leaning, conservative style. And NPR around here is
very
left-leaning. So it's amazing when something happens to go back and forth between them during commercials and things like that and listen to each one tell the exact same story completely differently. It's so wild, dude. Like, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be laughing in my car at myself on the way to work. Like, what? This had to be planned. You guys had to have planned this. No, that's how it works, man.
That's how it is.
Wild. Anyways, let's finish this out. Here we go.
Yeah.
And all I see is propaganda.
That was cool.
Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda. And all I see is propaganda. Propaganda.
Wow.
It's like, man, I love how he makes it seem like, I feel like I've seen that in a movie somewhere where, the TV is, like, the media is slowly taking people over, like one mind or one brain or one viewer at a time, slowly but surely you start watching it. Maybe it's like got some sort of like the Ring effect or something. Like slowly you start watching this stuff.
Like the poltergeist thing where the light comes out of the closet.
Yeah, and then before you know it, you're so absorbed by this that you don't know who you are anymore. You're completely different, and the media has absolutely changed you. And that's a real depiction. That's a real thing.
The thing. I've seen that in friends growing up.
Yeah.
I remember friends, and I won't mention their names, but like there was friends growing up that were always anti-establishment, blah, 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 blah. And they were always kind of the weird kid, whatever. But it's interesting to see as I've grown up you know, my views have changed. Like, my views when I was younger were always, I don't care, it's not affecting my life, so whatever.
That's usually, yeah, that was...
And there was a lot of people who were like, oh, you know, well, you know, the government's behind everything. It's involved in everything. You know, the government's doing this or doing that. And, you know, it's funny, the older I get, that, you know, I start to kind of take on that because of just what I see. I'm like, dude, this is nuts. Mm-hmm. And then those same people who are that way are now the biggest proponents for the government. They're like, oh, well, we got to trust them, right? Because they know what's best. They've done the research on the vaccine. We've got to listen to, you know, and it's like, dude.
Yeah, they've done the research on the bill comes across the table at 449 pages or whatever, and then 10 minutes later they're signing the last page.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, dude, it's so messed up. But there's so many people, and you guys see it on Facebook. I know you do. There's always that person preaching whatever the biggest topic is, whether it's Black Lives Matter, the vaccine, yeah. He's not watching.
He's not watching, but that's okay. It's still funny anyway.
So I mean, there's always that person online, and it kills me because they used to be the same person that was anti-government. You know, and it's like, you know, there's a certain extent. I think it's important that we do have a government in place, but the government's job is to protect us from foreign invaders.
The government's job is to stay out of the people's way and make sure that no one's going fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, well, and even that's dangerous because who's to constitute crazy? The government? Like,
there you go, Chris. There you go with your leftist morals again. What's your definition of crazy, you dick?
I mean, dude, just like
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
You remember the Tom Macdonald, the teaser for his new album?
Yes. Which one?
The one with the camera. Yes. That
Hog versus the world, man.
Once again, the government constitutes what's crazy. That's crazy.
I love that video because, like, I love that throughout the progression of it, you see the warning signs they go from green to being okay, then yellow, and then all of a sudden it's terminate this mother effer, bro. Get him out of here.
Yeah, wild.
If you guys haven't seen that one, go back and watch Hog versus the World. It's like 10 videos back or something like that. So,
but I don't know, man. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the country in the next 5 to 10 years, and one of the things is they're always like, well, you need to get involved. If you believe a certain way, you need to do. Like, dude, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Tom and Dax have always been those two since we've been doing this. To me, have always been those two that when they team up, there's just something that happens that's like, man, there's absolutely no way that this can go bad, that this can go poorly.
Yeah.
I've never gone into one of their videos, and interestingly enough, I think the two that we've watched that have them in them have both been kind of slower songs. Yeah. Because the last one we watched was that, I can't remember the name of it, but they're both kind of...
Blame the Rappers.
Yeah, that one.
I can't believe I remember that.
Dude, you recall those all the time. I'm like, how the hell do you do that? But yeah, that one, they've both been kind of slower songs. However, the messages in both of those songs have been strong, super powerful and really strong. So I love when they team up, man. They're a great duo, and we have been asking for this one actually since since
we first saw Dax.
Yeah,
we were like, you guys need to do one together, him and Tom. And then you guys were like, oh, they have. It's called Blame the Rappers. Then we checked it out. And then here they are again.
And so it's really just like, I don't know, it's kind of like a humbling thing for me just to know that like they're in contact with each other, and they go even past that. They hang out together and make videos together and share views on things. And Dax is a very religious man according to his videos, and Tom is not really that way. I think Tom is a little bit religious, but not in like a sense like Dax is. So again, you don't have to have the same beliefs and things like that to be.
Or even you could look at Mises and Adam Calhoun. I don't think Adam Calhoun has said like he's kind of religious but not really. It's kind of one of those things like, you know, he believes in a greater power and stuff. Sure. And like, you know, as long as you do your best, like that's all you can do.
Agnostic, I believe is what that's called.
Whereas, you know, Mises is like hardcore, like, dude, I need to go to church because
Mises
that's what helps me. Like I need to do this and I need to do, you know, so and they get along and write music and whatever, you know, and that's just to show that there are people out there who are different than you and you can still get along.
Not only get along, you can succeed together.
Yes.
Look at that. You can actually go out and still like succeed and like do very, very well for each other and for yourselves too. So we can all learn a little lesson from that.
I'm interested to see where the country goes. I mean, if we leave it in the hands of the government, it's only going to get worse, to be honest. Like I don't know how to fix that, so I'm not going to say one way or another what needs to happen.
Yeah, I don't have the answers. I just know that what we're doing right now ain't working.
So
let us know what your guys' solution is down in the
dude.
comments. Let's have some good discussions. If you guys like this episode, make sure you leave us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We don't really care.
Go down in the comments and leave a hashtag Nightmerica.
Hashtag Nightmerica, dude.
Yeah.
And also hashtag Thanks Ronnie.
Hashtag
Also
thanks,
hashtag Hog Family, Hog Fries, all those guys. You know, everyone. Welcome.
Hashtag send parts.
Yeah, the hashtag send parts. That's going to be a new thing for us. But yeah,
Yes.
There's also links in there to get your hands on some 307 Reacts merch. There's a Gmail link down there, and all the information is down there as well. So
just a reminder, we will be going live
for anyone that's still
October
here,
10th.
we'll do this at the beginning of an episode.
Which is a Sunday, okay? We're going to be going live. We're going to be giving away some free merch. We're basically, if we got rid of all the shirts that day, I would not be upset.
I don't care.
Like,
either,
and it's the first run of shirts. It's a limited supply. We only ordered 57 of them.
Yes, you heard it, 57.
57, that's it. We've sold a few. We still have a few left. We're going to give them away. We're going to give away, what, 20, 30?
Something
we
like
haven't sold that many, which is fine.
That's fine.
But
at this point, we're just like,
at this point, we just want you guys to have something. So we're gonna give stuff away. We're gonna do a raid or roast my ride.
It's gonna be awesome.
Which is gonna be great. You guys are gonna send us pictures on Facebook or Instagram. We'll run both. I'll run Instagram. You run Facebook, and then send us a picture of your ride, and then we're gonna raid or roast.
We'll just throw them all into a folder and just go through them. Man.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to send them early, you can. If you want to send them during the live, we're down with that too.
For sure. We'll start promoting that in the beginning of these episodes as the weeks go on.
It's going to be interesting, and you guys don't want to miss a thing because we're stupid. So, with that, I give this a 5 out of 5 for Tom and Dax.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Man, these past couple weeks have been a lot of 5 out of 5s. Man, there's some good music.
They killing it. Our people are just out there killing it, man.
Yeah, so we are getting back to acapella. We are getting back to Tom Macdonald and Upchurch and Jelly Roll and all these guys. We had to take a slight detour on a little bit of copyright stuff and some other things going on.
Thanks, YouTube.
But yeah, man, we're getting back to it. We're getting back in the swing of things. We're gonna start seeing more content that you guys love, which I hope that the ones we did put out that you're like, Ian Munsick, I don't know who that guy is. Check it out. He's a great musician.
He's a fellow Wyoming.
He's from the 307.
That's right.
So, and this isn't one of those things where like, oh, we're best buddies, and hey, man, can you help me out on your channel? It's not that at all.
Never even met him.
He's from a town that's 200 miles away from here.
2 hours away, yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
I've never even met the guy, so...
it's one of those things that we're just like, wow, dude, there's some great things starting to come out of Wyoming, and, we're proud of that. It's where we're from.
We're here to help, too, so...
With that, we'll see you guys next time. Bow! That was good. He got a good voice.
I mean,
sounds like fuck it, dude.
He can sing. He can definitely sing.
Let me see. He got 142,000 followers on TikTok.
Damn. Okay.
And then what's his YouTube at? His YouTube is at 923.
Oh,
subs.
Shit. Okay.
He putting out some quality music for 923 subs.
No
dude.
shit. That would be a really good one for us to get on the ground level.
Absolutely.
Kind of sounds like that's where we're gonna get in.
That's where I want to be.
Smart. Seems smart. All right, it's on. Bring us in. Let's do it.